Who am I speaking to right now?
Cameron.
My name
Cameron.
is
Cam Buford.
Hey, it's Peter Rosenberg. I'm hanging out with my man Cameron Buford.
You got some good questions today.
I'm a Dolphin fan.
There's always room for improvement.
I'm more a fan of boxing. Boxing is my main sport.
All we want to see every year are the best two mothers getting in the ring and getting on.
I got some of this for you.
Goodness. For me?
Yeah, just for you.
Think about it like this: the promoter pays the fighter, the fighter pays the manager.
Okay.
So the manager works for the fighter, and the fighter works
Work for the promoter. Okay.
So you are lifting weights currently?
When he said it's easier to score in the NBA versus Europe, did you agree with them?
To me, it's easy to score all over the world.
Can I finish? Do you want me to speak or do you want to conduct the interview and answer for me? Which one?
What do you think about this upcoming?
Aaron, like I was saying before.
Aaron, what has the game of baseball taught you?
One of the biggest things is being humble.
Can you give a message to the kids to kind of persevere through the false teachings they may be giving?
Patience.
Okay.
Patience.
As the show Voice of the Fans
Oh my goodness!
continues to
I'm in
evolve,
tears.
Come on, you were adding some spice to it.
it is strictly banter back and forth between myself and Cameron Buford.
I enjoy all of it.
The real ones know what's going on, right?
Never mind.
Go watch the tape. Go watch the tape, and then you tell me if it was all about just a system.
You look like a buffoon.
Go do your research. Go do your study.
I'm not caught up to you guys yet. I do
Real, real surprised at that, Ken.
Hey, come here. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, this guy.
That's what's good in sports, man. It's the big Snoop Dogg, man.
That's what's good in sport.
Thank you for making our voice your choice.
If you haven't told your girlfriend about the show, tell her about the show. If you haven't told your boyfriend about the show, tell him about the show. If you haven't told your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather about the show, let everybody know about the Voice of the Fans podcast.
Hey, man, thanks for making our voice your choice. You know how we do. Yeah.
What's good, fans? Thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is week 1, January 7th, 366 version or iteration of this version of the Voice of the Fans podcast. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, because we appreciate each and every one of you guys for tuning in. Man, we got a lot to talk about. NFL season just wrapping up. NFL trade. We just had a monster blockbuster trade in the NBA. We're going to talk about some boxing later on. We got This Week in History, as we always do. Fans, I want to thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you enjoy the show. And join me in the chat at _Voice of the Fans on Twitter if you want to talk to me on Twitter. But get in the chat, whether you're watching on H&B Media TV, get in the chat. Let me know what you think about this Trae Young trade. If you're watching on Voice of the Fans on YouTube, let me know what you think about this week in the NFL. Let me know what you think about how the NFL has wrapped up. Who's the number 1 seed in the whole entire NFL? We're going to talk about that, but I want to know your picks. I want to know your feedback. Hit me up in the chat. Once again, I want to thank all you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Where do we start? You guys want to recap what happened in the NFL? You want to talk about Jim Harbaugh getting fired? You guys want John Harbaugh? Excuse me. You guys want to talk about the opening, the coaching carousel? What do you guys want to talk? There's so much to talk about. I'll start with just recapping what happened in the NFL, and then we can come back to the coaching carousel. We can come back at anybody heard it? Did Mike McDaniels get fired? I haven't heard that. Anybody got the news on that? What you doing, Stephen Ross? You got John Harbaugh out there, and you're going to keep Mike McDaniel? Come on, man. NFL coaching carousel. We're going to talk about that. Big trade in the NBA. I want to know what you guys think about this trade in the NBA. I didn't know if there was a place for this guy to go, and they found a place for him. We're going to top seed teams in the NFL. Top seeded teams. Who is your top seeded team? I mean, do you guys just go by the records and see who your top seeded team is? But who is your top seeded team? Last week we had the Broncos went ahead and their win over KC gave them the top seed for the AFC. The Vikings crushed the Lions' playoff hopes. That was already done. The Houston Texans. The Houston Texans actually are looking pretty solid coming around. You want to be peaking right at this time that you go into the playoffs, and the Houston Texans and their counterpart, the Jacksonville Jaguars, peaking at the right time. Derrick Henry, wasn't able to do anything. They lost to the Steelers, and by a missed field goal. I mean, do you blame Harbaugh for not running Derrick Henry and trying to get 5 more yards, and so make the kick easy instead of a 44 yarder, make it a 39 yarder? Sure, you can. I mean, that was a tough situation. Harbaugh got the boot, but though. We had the Buccaneers beat the Panthers. Obviously, we had the Seahawks stifle the Niners. The defense just stifled them. After the Niners had scored 30 points in the previous 3 games, the Seahawks defense allows them to 3 points. And that was for the number one seed in the conference. Mike McDonald has these guys ready. The Bengals beat the Browns in a late field goal. The Vikings beat the Packers. Not many of the Packers played. The Packers were basically resting themselves for this week here. Jacksonville Jaguars, the other hot team, smashed the Titans as they were supposed to. You play a weak team, you're supposed to smash them. The Falcons beat up on the Saints. The Cowboys lost to the Giants. We don't have to hear any more from those guys for another 6 months. As I mentioned, the Texans beat the Colts. The Rams beat the Cardinals as they should have. The Raiders beat the Chiefs. Both of those teams going nowhere. The Commanders with players while the Eagles were resting player for their playoff game. The Commanders came back to beat those guys. The Dolphins just got obliterated by the Patriots. The Broncos handled the Chargers surprisingly. Smothered them all game long. So that was that. The Steelers, as we talked about the game of the weekend, the Steelers game, it was a low-scoring game to the final 5 minutes of the game, and then we had a couple big bombs that went back and forth to wake everybody up. And we thought Lamar Jackson was going to bring the Ravens back. He hits Likely in the field, hits him with a nice strike. Likely goes up, makes a great catch about the 30-yard line, but they don't get any further. End up missing the 44-yard field goal, and that sends them home. As we know, now there's an opening. John Harbaugh and the Ravens don't have a coach. They fired John Harbaugh, so the Ravens immediately become the best team without a coach in the NFL. But does Harbaugh coach next season, or does he take a season off? What do you guys think? I sure like to see him in the Dolphins, go down there and coach the Dolphins. I mean, we'll take Harbaugh. I mean, he's not the perfect coach, but we'll take her. He's better than better than who we have now. If we wait 18 years and get a Super Bowl, I'm with that. But the Dolphins need to make some moves. The Ravens are going to have to shake somebody up. I'm sure they'll come up with someone. I'm not even considering or worried about what they're going to do. We talked a little bit about it last week. Vrabel being the coach of the year, I think the consistency. Mike McDonald with the Seahawks, I think, has done an awesome job. Defensive player of the year, got to go to Myles Garrett. He breaks the single season record now. Do we give him any sluff because he did it in 18 games? He got 23 sacks in 18 games versus I did see one stat that says he did it in 430 snaps versus Watt, who got 20 sacks and like 600 snaps, which that is a much more efficient pass rusher, clearly. But kudos to Garrett for breaking that record. Offensive Player of the Year. Earlier in the 6 weeks ago, we were looking at Jackson Smith-Njigba. Is it Matthew Stafford? Does Matthew Stafford win the Offensive Player of the Year and the MVP? Matthew Stafford more likely going to win the MVP. They'll probably give the Offensive Player of the Year to Drake May for his production, considering what they did last year. But looking back at the picks, fans, I'm gonna let you know I didn't get to my mark of 70 where I wanted to be. I started the season. I had week 4. I'm looking back at it, just looking back at my picks. Week 4 really, really hurt me, and I just wasn't able to rebound from that poor week. But as you see, your man Cam, and this is tracked all season long, so you can see I got a 60% winning percentage. That's 6 out of 10, not bad. I would love for that to be 70%. But see, I finished the season at 60%. Last week was a terrible. My second worst week of the season of the last 18 weeks was this past week, where I got only 6 picks right. There was one week I got four right, but 6 right out of 16, obviously 37%. Obviously a horrible percentage. But even with that, I'm still at 60% for the season. So let's see with these playoff games, only like 12 playoff games, maybe I can bump that up to 65%. But that's where we are right now. What up, Barry? Appreciate you for tuning in, man. Thank you. Happy Wednesday to you too, sir. Happy hump day to most of you guys. So looking at this game, I got 1 right on my picks against the spread, and that was the Niners, I believe. The Niners got blown out. That was New Orleans for my picks against the spread, because Green Bay got blew out as well. So I'll keep track of my playoff wins. But so looking at my supremacy rankings going into the playoffs, it didn't really change, because last week after the Seahawks beat the Rams, it was the Seahawks. So I got the Rams. I still have them over the Rams. I got the Patriots, the Bears, the Broncos. It's going to be a hell of a game. We got good football this weekend, so let's jump right into this. I mean, I couldn't pick one of these games or 3 of these games as the game of the week. All of these games are great games, except for the Rams Panthers. We should expect the Rams to beat them pretty handily. They got I am taking the Panthers. That should be the Panthers plus 10.5. It's not going to be a 10.5 game. But the Panthers beat them earlier, so the Rams have something to prove. The Rams have something to prove to these Panthers. They'll beat them by 7 points. They'll beat them 21-14, 24-20, 24-17, something like that. I do have the Rams winning that game. I got the Packers going to Chicago, healthy Jordan Love, healthy Watson. I got the Packers in their running game going to Chicago, and I think the Bears are playing over their skis a little bit. So this is a time where, I don't think Caleb Williams is going to be Magician Williams late in the game, and I'm going with the Packers in this game. Buffalo Bills and Jacksonville Jaguars. I think Buffalo Bills are going to the Super Bowl. I'm picking the Buffalo Bills to win this game. Not sure they're going to Jacksonville. So it'll be good weather. Weather won't be an issue. But I got Josh Allen doing just enough to get the job done in Jacksonville this week. The 49ers and the Eagles, this might be the best game of the weekend. This might be the very best game of the weekend, and I'm struggling to pick. I want to pick San Francisco and Brock Purdy. But the Eagles being able to stop the run, they're going to be able, with their defensive line, they're going to be able to stop the run. Unless McCaffrey gets out there and catches some passes out the backfield and run past these linebackers, I don't know. I don't see how he becomes a major factor. And the Eagles have been here and done this. They were just here last year. I think they are feeling emboldened by the fact that the Chiefs aren't around, even though they beat the Chiefs, that they feel that they can kind of repeat if they that's how they will be feeling. This will be a great game. However, I'm picking the Eagles at home to pull this one out against the Niners in this wild card weekend. Chargers and the Patriots. Chargers have a tough task. Going traveling across the country to face New England Patriots. Mike Vrabel has a very well coached team. They're going to play mistake-free football. They're going to have an offensive game plan that's going to be suited and take advantage of what the Chargers do. The Chargers are facing an old friend in Hunter Henry, where the Chargers have historically been taken advantage of by their tight end. I don't know. Hunter Henry's a great guy. I don't know if he's going to be able to take advantage of the defense, the defense of the Chargers. I don't know. It very well could happen. Hunter Henry can have 6 catches for 130 yards on this weekend, and I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm not going to predict that either. So I know it'll be a good football game nonetheless, because the Chargers, they're not going to give up, and they need to win. They need to get Herbert a playoff win. So we'll see what happens. Drake May, how does he perform in his first playoff game? Does he get a little nervous? We'll see. It's going to be a great game. Houston Texans and the Pittsburgh Steelers on Monday night. This is going to be a wash. The Texans are going to wash these guys. This will be. It'll be a 10 to 14 point win for the Houston Texans. Their pass rush is just going to have your guy Aaron Rodgers, seeing ghosts, feeling ghosts, looking for the contact on every play. He's not going to be focused on the stuff downfield. So I got the Houston winning this game one fairly easy. This is going to be a fairly easy win for Houston. So the only real games I'm questioning about is the Eagles versus the Niners and the Patriots versus the Chargers, 2 games that I'm just unsure about. Well, what were your biggest takeaways from this season? What would you say your biggest takeaway from this NFL season was? I guess the biggest takeaway, just off the top of my head, not even scripted, the biggest takeaway would be the emergence of Sam Darnold. We talked about it last week with Eric Williams, the Fox Sports reporter. The confidence that the guys have put in him, and he's turned around and has another breakout season back-to-back. I think there's only 2 players to have back-to-back 14-win seasons. And he's one of them. And you wouldn't have thought that 2 years ago, let alone last year, let alone this summer. So kudos to Sam Darnold. But can this continue, or is it going to be a question? Is it always going to be a question? Are you worried about Sam Darnold? Can Sam Darnold lead you guys to a victory? Is Sam Darnold going to be the reason that they don't win? He doesn't play this week. But that's going to be the question when they come up next week against whomever they play. Can Sam Darnold avoid the mistakes and just let the defense eat? Because the defense is ferocious. The running game is just good enough. The defense is ferocious. If Sam Darnold doesn't make any mistakes, the Seahawks will win the Super Bowl. Book it. If Sam Darnold does not have a game where he's 129 yards passing, 1 TD, 2 interceptions, and a fumble, the Seahawks will win the football game. They will win the Super Bowl. Now, if he's on the flip side, where he's 275-yard passing and 3 TDs in their first game, they're winning easily because your defense, you're playing big boy defense against these Seahawks, and they're just not easily allowing people to run up and down the field on them. So that's impressive. As you hear me talking, that's kind of my favorite because I don't feel the same way about the Denver Broncos, who's rushing as well. But we'll get to that road. We'll cross that road when we get to it. But yeah, so Sam Darnold is one of my storylines for this year. The other storyline is injuries. I mean, starting from way back in week 1, we had we had some uncertainty certainly the Kansas City Chiefs. Before the Kansas City Chiefs, you had Micah Parsons going down with his injury. Well, I think they went down the same weekend, if I'm not mistaken. But they both went down with injuries, really obviously impacting the Kansas City Chiefs, who might have been out of it by that point, but severely impacting the Dallas Cowboys, who kind of their defense, the Green Bay Packers, who their defense hasn't imploded, but they missed. There's a big void without the pass rusher that they traded for and they paid a lot of money to. So let's see if they can overcome that when they play the Bears this weekend. Another storyline for the NFL. I'm gonna say, if you guys want to hear it again, I want to say, is it time to get rid of the Peanut Tillman punch out? Now, Eric gave me some lip on that one last week. But I really think it is, just because I don't think players are playing to tackle. They're playing to punch the ball out, which is, it's not football, man. Cut it out, man. Cut it out. It's not football. Let's play some football. Heads up. Go hit somebody. But I guess if you really want to talk about for the whole season, some of the storylines for the whole season, you got to talk about the Chiefs not being in the playoffs. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has not had a season where he didn't play in the AFC Championship, so they missed the playoff for the first time. The Lions collapsed. We thought the Lions were going to be a Super Bowl favorite, but they ended up missing the playoffs entirely. The Denver Broncos defense, they've been solid all season long. And now the question is now, can Bo Nix, do you count on the rookie quarterback? Do you count on Bo Nix to get it done in the playoffs? I mean, he's going to have a great defense. He's going to have a solid running game, but can he has the issue of waiting to the fourth quarter to do some to play Superman, but that's not going to work in the playoffs. Can they get it done early? The Denver Broncos I'm talking about. The Philadelphia 76ers, now they kind of regressed a little bit this season. Jalen Hurts has been inconsistent. The defense is they've had defensive laps that's raised some questions because they had some untimely losses. But here they are. To win the tournament, you got to be in the tournament. And the Eagles are in the tournament. They started against the 49ers on Saturday. And how are they going to look? They're the defending champions, so you got to give them some respect. Right, you got to respect what they've done and who they are when they get into the playoffs, being the defending champions. So they start on Saturday against the Niners, but we'll see what the defending champions. What's Rudy Tomjanovich say? Never underestimate the heart of a champion. And so those are champions. They're going to be a tough out, I'll say, in this series, that for sure. Similar to the NBA, where we're seeing the ushering out of some of the longtime superstars. We're kind of seeing that same renaissance, if you will, in the NFL, with Patrick Mahomes not being in the playoffs. The emergence of Drake May, the emergence of Caleb Williams, the emergence of Bo Nix. These young quarterbacks are taking over. The emergence of Trevor down there in Orlando, down there in Jacksonville. So the emergence of these guys have been pretty impressive. So we're seeing in kind of the takeover of the young quarterbacks and in the new era of young quarterbacks. And are you guys with this? The Steelers-Ravens, that game, as we talked a little bit about earlier, was a classic. The Pittsburgh edged Pittsburgh missed the extra point, which opened the door for Baltimore to win the game outright on the field goal. And both kickers makes their final field goal, and Pittsburgh go home the winner. It was a wild game, wild outcome. Pittsburgh now has their chance to do something, but they're playing the Houston Texans, who they're just outmanned. They're just going to be completely outmatched by them. And so because of the injuries we talked about, Joe Burrow got hurt, Justin Herbert throughout the season, Lamar Jackson missed some time this season. As I mentioned, Michael Parsons is out. The Chiefs quarterback Mahomes went out, so injuries has kind of been the storyline of the league this season, but it left the Super Bowl race wide open, because the Seattle Seahawks are actually right here with a chance to close the door and win their second Super Bowl, win the franchise's second Super Bowl, and Mike Macdonald's second year as a head coach, which would be this dude has just been remarkable. What he's done, his stoic demeanor, I love it. The way he's playing these players, pulling them to the sideline, putting them in when they need to. He's doing it. Everything he's doing is he's hitting the right buttons every time, which is very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. So let's keep an eye on that. I think that's where we are. I think that's where we are right now with the NFL. It's a playoff race, and can the Seahawks get it done? We're going to see. And because we're down to the wild card weekend, the Seahawks and the Broncos have the bye this weekend, but we're going to see if they can get it done over time. Okay, fans, let's get to this NBA action. As this week, it was all a buzz about the trade deadline coming up and trading Trae Young. Excuse me. As you know, Trae Young excuse me, guys. I need something in my throat. The Hawks just sent the four-time All-Star. The Atlanta Hawks, just sent the four-time All-Star to the Washington Wizards for C.J. McCollum and Corey Casper. No trades or no picks, involved. No extra money involved. C.J. McCollum. So good job for C.J. C.J. gets out of D.C. and gets to Atlanta where they actually want to win. So I'm sure he's happy about that. So good job. Kudos to CJ for getting somewhere where somebody actually wants to win. But what do you guys expect from the Wizards? Look like Trae doesn't really count on winning. I guess winning isn't one of his major requirements, I should say. Let me put it like that. Because they were winning, the Atlanta Hawks were winning without him. He comes back and they're not winning. So obviously they had to get rid of him at that point. It was clear. All right, we're not going to win with you. So they got rid of him. But they just sent him to Crespert is a Washington native, just by the way, fans. For those of you who didn't know, born in Edmond, Washington. Another 206 guy. But he goes to Atlanta with C.J. McCollum, which again is good for C.J. I don't know what the Wizards. Let's see what the Wizards squad look like. I mean, they got some rookies. They haven't been much of anything. I think the biggest news with the Wizards here recently was their potential move out of town. Let's look at this Wizards here, this roster here. See. So CJ, well, they're going to get rid of CJ. They got Bagley, Trey Johnson, Keyshawn George. Alex Sarr was a rookie from France last year. Chris Middleton, Bilal, Cam Whitmore from Villanova, Corey from Gesper from Gonzaga, but he's going to Atlanta. I'm looking at this roster, and I don't see any. Chris Middleton is now the only person over 10 years in the league with 10 years of experience. They have 4 rookies on the roster. 3 rookies on the roster. 1, 2, 3, 4 players. 5 players with under 2 years of action. So this is a real young squad. Trae Young's going to get to go to Atlanta, go to DC, and kind of be the veteran, the coach, the mentor of these young guys. You know what that tells me? Washington's going to stink for a long time because I don't see Trae. I personally thought Trae Young should have. If I was running the Hawks, I would have traded Trae Young and kept DeJounte Murray. That would have been a what do they call a controversial decision, but I thought DeJounte Murray is a better player. Obviously, DeJounte got hurt, so he got hurt twice since then. So no, DeJounte's not even playing today. However, I thought he was a better player, played better defense. Certainly, wasn't a better scorer, but he played better defense, and he was a good assist guy. So I was certainly taking DeJounte Murray over Trae Young, which I thought that was in the plans. I thought the direction they were going. Instead, they traded DeJounte Murray, keeping Trae Young, and still not going anywhere. Atlanta has not. The Atlanta Hawks have not been busting a bubble at all. Not been impressed with basketball. And although CJ is probably bringing more to the game, he'll be more of a better player than he'll be a better player for the Hawks than Trae Young. I don't know that it really helps them. They get rid of some dead weight by getting rid of CJ, but I don't know if that it helps them, makes them. I don't want to say Trae Young wasn't making them a playoff basketball team, so I still don't think they're a playoff basketball team, and that's sad. Anthony Davis is the other guy on trade watch. Though the Mavericks don't have to trade him, sounds like Rich Paul is either wants him to be traded or wants somebody to re-sign him. Or excuse me, they want him to re-sign him to a max deal, or they want him traded. So it looks like Rich Paul is going to force a buck on this one. So he'll probably be out of Dallas. But where does he go? There was talk of him going to Atlanta. And now that Trae Young is out of Atlanta, that leaves a high salary, a max salary, max contract available for them. But does he help Atlanta? Does he help them? We don't know. But they're high on him. Obviously, we know about Jokic's knee injury, going to be out for 4 weeks at least. The Nuggets are playing inspired basketball, though. As they won tonight. I think they beat the Timberwolves. They won tonight. The Nuggets started playing inspired basketball. Stephen Curry passes Kevin Garnett on all-time scoring lists. So he's at number 21 after a 21-point night versus Brooklyn. Golden State is relying on Curry, but is that going to be enough to get it done for Steph Curry? I don't think so. We're not at the All-Star break now, so we can't really start holding people accountable for where they stand in the race. But let's just take a look at the ranking to see exactly where do they stand. If I remember correctly, I don't remember them. I don't know that they were that highly ranked in the. NBA is offering money off for the NBA package. How many of you guys are going to the All-Star game, All-Star weekend here in LA in a couple of weeks? It's February 13, 14, and 15, actually. How many of you guys are going to the All-Star weekend in Los Angeles? If you're going, just know All-Star weekend is a made-for-TV production. It really is. It's a fun weekend, but it is a made-for-TV production, if you're not aware of that already. So I want to look and see where the standings. Where are the Warriors in the standings? The Golden State Warriors right now, today as we speak, 19-18, they're number 8. I don't know if they hold on to that record because right now at number 12, 23, 20 with 23 losses, 13 wins is the Los Angeles Clippers. The Los Angeles Clippers are actually 7-3 in their last 10 games. They're one of the hottest teams in the NBA. The only team hotter than the Clippers were the Celtics, who did lose tonight, but they were 80% in their last 10 games, 8-2. Timberwolves and Suns are also 7-3. The Clippers, they do have a lot of ways to go. They got a lot to climb over the mountain. So some people want to call them Mountaineers, and I'm with that. Let's call them Clippers Mountaineers for the rest of the season because they got a lot of climbing to do. Cooper Flag is shining. The Mavericks rookie delivers a clutch win over the Suns. How do you think the Cooper Flag is performing? Are you excited? Or should Dallas Mavericks fans be okay with trading away Anthony Davis, knowing that they have Cooper Flag to play that to fill that role as the guy on the team? Are you guys good with that? OKC, they struggled recently. OKC is struggling. What's up with that? Because, well, they lost two of their last 3 games. I mean, if you want to say that's a struggle, they're 21-7, I think they are. But they have a blowout loss to the Hornets. The sky is falling you can't say the sky is falling, but a blowout loss to the Hornets kind of catches you, makes you think a little bit. They're no longer, after that loss, they're no longer number one in the NBA.com's power rankings. But the Oklahoma City Thunder, I mean, this is good for them. They weren't going to go 82-3, or they won't go 79-3. They weren't going to go 75-9. But we expect them to have a good season. We'll see how they finish the season here. It's going to be interesting when we talk about we're looking ahead to the NBA All-Star Weekend in the playoffs, because it's going to be interesting. Some of these topics that we're talking about, will the Thunder, they're going to be still top of the West, obviously. I do have Houston coming out of the West, but the Thunder is still going to be right there. But where are the Golden State Warriors going to be? Where are the Denver Nuggets going to be with Jokic out for about 2 months during the season? Where they're going to be? Where's Anthony Davis going to end up? Is he going to make if he were traded to the Hawks, does he make the Hawks better? Does he make the Hawks a contender in the Eastern Conference? Does Trae Young make the Washington Wizards a contender in the Eastern Conference, or is he just there to enjoy Chocolate City? A lot of questions yet to be decided within the NBA season that we have going on. Is Victor Wembanyama? He's playing the Lakers right now. Victor's only playing 20 minutes a game this season. Is that sustainable? Does that mean we're going to get a healthy Victor longer? We have these guards for the San Antonio Spurs. Really, really, I think they're kind of surprising the league. The league knew that they're going to be good. Did the league know that they're going to be this good? I don't know, but they're playing the Lakers right now. They're up 4 with just before halftime. So NBA action is fantastic. As you know, it's already heating up. I gave you some of the major stories that we're talking about, and the Clippers are running high right now. Fans, want to give a huge shout out to the team here at the Great American Casino. They have bonus free play Sunday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Qualified players can receive up to $1,000 in free play. They have 2 winners every hour. This is at the Great American Casino, 14040 Interurban Avenue South, and that's Tukwila, Washington, 98168. Once again, at 14040 Interurban Avenue South, Tukwila, Washington. I'm here broadcasting live from the Great American Casino. They have fantastic happy hour specials that if you haven't enjoyed them, come down and enjoy happy hour specials every day. They're great food menus. If you haven't enjoyed it, come down and get some grub at the Great American Casino. And let them know I sent you. Let them know your boy Cam sent them down to the Great American Casino. Fans, each and every week, I like to revisit some dates in history, things that oftentimes gets ignored or unremembered. But on January 5th, 1946, the United States government designated the farmland upon which George Washington Carver grew up as a national monument. On January 5th, 1946, as George Washington Carver Day, they named George Washington Carver Day in honor of one of the few black inventors recognized by mainstream America. So kudos to George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver Day on January 5th, 1946. Never heard of that before, fans. But now we know. January 7th, 1923, the Rosewood Massacre ends. This was sparked by a white woman who, in nearby Sumner, falsely claimed she was assaulted by a black man, sparking the mob violence. Official reports cite 8 deaths, 6 black, 2 whites, but eyewitness estimates 27 to 150 black residents may have been killed that weekend. It went on for 6 days, I think, the massacre did. But of course, they only rolled out 6 blacks died. January 6, 1959, Richard and Mildred Loving convicted for interracial marriage. That had to be before interracial marriage was obviously allowed. January 7, 1808, slave ship Fair American lands in Charleston, South Carolina, I believe, with 88 enslaved Africans. January 7, 1890, W.B. Purvis, one of our great African-American inventors, received a patent for the fountain pen. January 7, 1955, Marian Anderson became the first black singer to perform at the Metropolitan Opera in New York City. January 7, 2002, Shirley Franklin is sworn in as the first female mayor and 4th African-American mayor of Atlanta. On January 7, 5 years later, 2007, Tony Dungy of the Indianapolis Colts and Lovie Smith of the Chicago Bears became the first African-American head coaches to play in the National Football League Super Bowl as Super Bowl XLI, where Dungy's Colts won. Some of the most memorable movie releases. We'll have to come back to you guys on that one. We got college football game action tomorrow. How excited are you guys for college football playoffs? Are you guys into it? The Canes beat OSU. We had Oregon beat Texas Tech. Indiana beat Alabama. And Georgia lost to Mississippi. Ole Miss. So now we got Ole Miss in Indiana. And we got Oregon. And we have Indiana plays Miami. Let me get this right. Make sure I get this right. I didn't write this down. But tomorrow we got Miami playing Ole Miss. The 10th-ranked Hurricanes are playing the 6th-ranked Mississippi. They changed. They're not the Rebels anymore. What did they change their name to? But Ole Miss, that's going to be a good game. I'm going with the Canes. I'm going with the Canes in the upset because the Canes' defensive line is just so ferocious. I think they're going to win the game for the Canes. Ole Miss has a quarterback who can run around and make plays. If he's able to run around and make plays, Miami's probably going to be in trouble. But then anybody's going to be in trouble. I think Miami can funnel him to keep him in the middle, keep him in the pocket, and they're going to close on him and smother him that way. In the second game on Friday, that game is tomorrow. On Friday, Oregon plays Indiana. Is Oregon too fast for Indiana? Is Oregon? I mean, they don't play. I would go with Indiana right off the top because they play Big Ten football. Run the ball, stop the run. But is Oregon too fast for Indiana? That's what I'm gonna be looking to see. But I'm gonna go with Indiana in that game. And so the Canes, I got Canes in Indiana for the national championship. What you guys' thoughts on the college football? Is it too many teams? Is 12 teams too many? Is this going on too long? I think the college football, they pushed the start back so late. Like they should be playing that last week in August, first week in September, so they can be done with this playoffs in New Year's. They should be done with this by then. Now they're gonna. Well, they are playing Friday. They are playing Thursday and Fridays wisely to not compete with the NFL and playoff action. But they should be done by now. That's my thoughts on the college football scenario. Guys, we got the January 31st fight coming up with Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez. It is January, but it's already going to be the fight of the year. It's already the fight we've been targeting. We circled our calendar for years ago before a lot of trash talk was going on. And now Keyshawn Davis is going to be on that fight card, which is good. He gets a chance to kind of reclaim his prominence, restake his authority in the game. What's you guys' thoughts on the boxing? This not only this fight card, but Keyshawn Davis. How good can Keyshawn Davis be? And can he stay out of trouble? Can he keep his nose clean? Can he keep his hair clean? Keep his head clean so he stop causing problems? That's going to be a major question. But this is going to be a great fight coming up. So if you're not planning to go and you haven't bought your tickets, make sure you clear your schedule because Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson is going to be a fight well worth watching. Be sure to tune in and watch the fight. Fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. As always, I mean, this has become a labor of love. I like connecting with the audience. I like bringing you guys some content, some facts in a different way that many people do. Also, I want to leave you guys with a quote. I'm a big quote guy, though. I want to leave you guys with a quote tonight. The quote I chose to leave you guys with is from a man that you're all familiar with. And considering the times and issues that we have going on in this country and this world, the quote goes like this: darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. One more time, fans. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. That's from the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. It's a quote for you guys to just recognize we're all humans, man. We're all in this world together. Let's get along and love everybody. Let's enjoy everybody. Fans, today, just on a total separate note, but just want to inspire and encourage you guys. Lost a very dear childhood friend of mine. Lost him within the last couple of days. Also lost a guy I played high school football with. Lost him to this day. Guys, life is fleeting. Fans, life is fleeting. If there's somebody you want to talk to, let's not hold any grudges. Let's be the beacon of love and light in our eyes, in our lives, in our families' lives. Let's remove all the grudges, the hate, the animosity, and enjoy each other's presence in our lives, because we're not going to be here forever. It's only a moment in time. But while you're here, just enjoy the people around you. Enjoy the family that's there for you. Enjoy the people you love. And tell the people you love that you love them. Let them know. Again, when people dies around you, it really opens up your eyes to help you see like what's important, what's critical, who's important, who's critical. And don't be afraid to let them people know that they are critical in your lives. But fans, I'm not afraid to let you know that you're critical in my life. For tuning in and supporting the Voice of the Fans podcast, I really appreciate that. I really hope you decide to hit that share button, hit that like button today. And once again, fans, I want to thank you for your time. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice your choice. Enjoy your night. See you soon.